What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be doing a quick breakdown of the new skateboard melee weapon in Black Ops 6. This one just came as part of the TMNT event, and we're just going to be seeing how this stacks up against all of the other melee weapons, including all of the brand new Ninja Turtle ones that I covered last week. And without further ado, let's dive right into this with our standard attack. With the skateboard, we deal 135 damage with our standard attack, so it is a one-hit kill in core game modes. And when it comes to our pre-hit delay, or the amount of time it takes from the moment you initiate the attack to the moment that you actually get the hit on the enemy player, this is pretty standard for a melee weapon at 250 milliseconds. Then after that, let's have a look at the time between two hits. So in the case of the skateboard, while it is a one-hit kill, maybe you have two enemies that are standing right next to each other. How long does it take to kill both of them from the moment you get the first hit on the first guy? Well, unfortunately, it is on the slower side for the melee weapons in this game at 750 milliseconds. Next, one of the most important stats here is our lunge range, and with a skateboard, our lunge range is 2 meters, which is pretty much just average for a melee weapon in this game. It's not bad, but it's also not great. It's just kind of right in the middle. And this just leaves us with one last stat for our standard attacks at least, and this is the maximum hit angle, and it turns out it's the same as all of the other melee weapons here at 30 degrees. This means you can be aiming up to 30 degrees off target, and as long as you're within the lunge range, you will automatically lock onto that player and lunge to them when you initiate the attack. And there we go, that's a standard attack, and at the end of the day, looking at all of these important stats, the skateboard is fine, there's really nothing seriously wrong with it, but overall, comparing it to the other one-hit kill melee weapons, there's just nothing about the skateboard that makes it stand out in any meaningful way, and it's basically just a regular one-hit kill melee weapon with nothing special going on with it. I mean, I guess you could say it does have a slightly better lunge range than a knife as well as the cleaver, and it does have shorter delays compared to the bow staff, which does beat it in range. But again, there's just nothing about this that really stands out and makes the skateboard a really attractive looking option to use. Now, in saying that, that's just the standard attack though. Now let's have a look at our charged or heavy attack, which, just a quick recap, in order to activate this, at least on controller, you activate it by hitting the aim down sight button, and then when you release the aim down sight button, that's what initiates the charged attack. Now, with all of the charged attacks, they are going to be a one-hit kill, although in the case of the skateboard, it's a one-hit kill without a charged attack anyway. When you have it charged up, you can't sprint. And for the attack itself, it will lock you and your victim in place for the duration of that animation, so they can't shoot back at you. This is one of the big benefits of using a charge attack over a regular attack. However, while you're in that animation, you're really locked into it, and their teammates could potentially kill you in that time and save their life if they kill you fast enough. And the first stat to look at here is how long does it take to get into that charged state? So if you run into an enemy and you just want to instantly activate your charged attack, with the skateboard, unfortunately, it's going to take you 400 milliseconds in order to charge up the attack before you actually initiate it, which is definitely on the slow side. It's actually tied with the Psy as being the worst charge time. However, if you're already pre-charged, maybe you know an enemy's about to come around a corner, so you pre-charge it, your time to kill from the moment you activate that animation is 700 milliseconds, which isn't great, but it's also not terrible. What this means is our total time to kill with a heavy attack, if we run into an enemy, we're not pre-charged, this is going to be 1100 milliseconds, which once again follows that same trend we've been seeing here. It's not bad, but it's also just not great. It's not really a standout, it's just kind of average. But then let's have a look at our charged attack lunge range, which turns out is actually the same as our standard attack lunge range with the skateboard at 2 meters. So we gain no additional benefit there for using the charged attack. However, we do gain a benefit to our maximum hit angle, just like we do with all of the melee weapons. This increases your maximum hit angle from 30 degrees up to about 55 degrees. So it will be more forgiving in that way. It will lock on to your enemies a little bit easier. Now, in saying that, that's pretty much the only notable upside, especially since the skateboard is a one-hit kill melee weapon without the charge attack. So generally speaking, you want to avoid using the charge attack with the skateboard. You're much better off just using your standard melee attack because everything is just going to happen a lot faster, and you're not going to be locking yourself into any animations where you can't really fight back or try to outmaneuver if a second enemy comes around. But with all of that out of the way, the last thing I wanted to take a look at here is our mobility stats, and they've stuck with the same philosophy the entire year so far, and this is all of the melee weapons have the exact same mobility stats, and this does include the skateboard. So you don't have to worry about this making you any slower or faster than the other melee weapons. You're going to get around the map just as fast regardless. And with that, that's pretty much it. That's all of the stats of the skateboard and how it stacks up against the other melee weapons. At the end of the day, it's basically just a standard one-hit kill melee weapon. I'm not going to call it bad. It's definitely not a bad melee weapon. There's just nothing about it that really stands out and makes it shine above any of the other melee weapons in the game. And at the end of the day, if I'm going for a one-hit kill standard attack melee weapon, I'm still going with the bow staff. It does have slightly longer delays, but it's worth it for that longer lunge range in the end. But of course, those are just my opinions, and I'd love to hear what you guys think about the skateboard relative to the other melee weapons in those comments down below. Are you guys generally enjoying it, or not so much? If you enjoyed this one, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.